Hello YouTube, my name is Teases and welcome back to another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate speculation video. Or this time, not really speculation, it's more of a let's talk about it, because we're going to be talking about obviously hints, teases in the latest Nintendo Direct and everything that came afterwards, and the little bit of leaks that we've been having. The leak part is obviously going to be part of this video, but will be recorded in a later time, so if there is like a noticeable cut like midway through the video after I talk about the leaks and teases, then that's why I still have to gather some of that stuff. So first things first, let's talk about some hints throughout Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and we're gonna go back to Smash Bros. 4, which is the one we have a much bigger realm of reference to hints and teases for characters to be a part of the Smash franchise. Because honestly, I'll be honest, I wasn't around during the time of Brawl. Brawl came out in 2008, so everything came before it. Wasn't in trailers, it was in the Smash Dojo, and I was 14, and I really didn't... Wait, that was 2008? Yeah, I did not have the internet back then. I only got the internet a year later, and I got the Wii a year after that, and that was a period of time where I wasn't really interested in gaming. That was a weird time. But anyway, going back to this in Super Smash Bros. 4, Nintendo gave us a lot of hints throughout the trailers. For example, the first trailer for Super Smash Bros. Hinted at the presence of Little Mac, or a Punch-Out character, which obviously would have been Little Mac, with the Punch-Out or the boxing ring being one of the first main stages announced for that game, brand new stages. If you recall, Villager interrupts a fight between Bowser and Mario in the boxing ring, which obviously was a little bit of a hint that Punch-Out was going to be represented in Smash with the boxing ring and Little Mac as a playable character. Then, not only that, but in the second trailer for this, with the Mega Man trailer, also was the first hint at 8-player Smash. Something that most people did not even notice, and I didn't even notice until later on, is how 8-player Smash was hinted at throughout some of the trailers. I specifically remember, and I wrote down these as the Mega Man and the Greninja trailer specifically having that in of teasing the Super Smash Bros. 8-player Smash mode coming. In the Mega Man trailer, there were 4 characters in Mario, Link, Donkey Kong and Kirby fighting, and then a 5th character in the shape of Mega Man introduced to the battle and interfering. Then in the Greninja trailer, first it was Mario, Samus, Link, Kirby and Olimar all standing in a line in a row, and then Charizard interfering, making it 6-player. In fact, the other one with Mega Man came in would become 5, and then Greninja joining the fight, making it a 7-player thing. I obviously might be reaching a little bit here, but when you have all these things, when you put these two in these terms, and then you remind yourself, this is Sakurai we're talking about. This is a man that will go to extreme lengths for the Smash community and to drop little hints and teases here and there. So we then reach to now Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Those were the ones that I found for Super Smash Bros. 4. Obviously there might be more, but the other ones that I found were more like teases. So let's get on to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In Ultimate, right now, after the Nintendo Direct, we have a little bit of a hint for Skull Kid to be added to the Super Smash Bros. roster. If you watched the Nintendo Direct at E3, you would notice that where Sakurai was and where he was in the August Nintendo Direct, the one that just happened, you'll notice that the background is different. And you might think, well, that's not that big of a deal. And it isn't. It honestly isn't. Until you remember that he's doing the game, he's making Smash Bros. Ultimate in the same place where he made Super Smash Bros. 4. And the background for his office in the Nintendo Directs for the April 2014, E3 2014, Smash E3 2015 Direct, and the final December Direct were all basically the same, or in the same. You would be like, yeah, it's the same room but in a different area. While both rooms in E3 and at the August Direct were completely different. Now, I remember back a couple of months ago when we did in fact see, or people started looking really deep into the background of the E3 Nintendo Direct. And people were like, oh my god, they're hinting at King K. Rool or a DK character. Look at the barrel. They have a... Sakurai is in this room that's wooden. There's a rope ladder. There's a barrel. Clearly they're hinting at someone. Most likely King K. Rool with this piratey theme, which K. Rool had in his first game, to be honest. And I remember that because I remember looking at it and being, when people were throwing that out, I was like, that's a little bit of a stretch, isn't it? I mean, it's just a background, people. Calm your titties. It's not that big of a deal. There's nothing much here. Let's calm down. Let's not get overboard. I do believe K. Rool might be in the game, but let's not get crazy. And, I mean, we have another Direct that's hinting at somebody else with the background. K. Rool gets announced. It kind of makes sense. I mean, you could see it. It was there, and immediately the immediate Nintendo Direct comes afterwards. We get that announcement, so maybe, and obviously now I'm more of a believer in that, because although I always was like K. Rool has a chance, it was always he might be. It's a small chance because he hasn't been in the game in over a decade. Nintendo hasn't really utilized him. The last time we truly saw him was in the spin-off Mario game. It's a Mario sports game. Heck, his the only reference of him in Super Smash Brothers were trophies and that little and the Mii costume in 4. So, you know, there was nothing really that would hint to showcase that he was 100% or 90% or 75%, heck, or even 51% chance of him being in a game. But now the latest Direct, we have the setting that kind of looks like it could be setting up for Skull Kid. We have the two chairs that are that look like the fairies from Majora's Mask. I forget their name. I believe it's Tattle and Tail. I think that's their names. I could be wrong. Then obviously the pillows in the green couch that kind of have the similar, not kind of have, they have the similar, what is it, the color scheme. Jesus, why is sometimes English hard for me? Simple words, not even hard ones. Anyway, the color schemes for Skull Kid, also the fact that there appears to be a skull behind the Sakurai, and that's going to lead to another thing that people have been theorizing. It hints at another thing that kind of sort of makes even more possible for Skull Kid to be actually teased with all these things is that he's yet to be showcased as an assist trophy. He's still MIA, and we already have, technically speaking, a replacement for him as the Majora's Mask assist trophy, you know? We have the moon from Majora's Mask, which is what he's mostly closely associated with. And I will talk about another thing that's kind of floating around as a tease for Skull Kid in the actual teasing part, not the hints parts. Another thing that the background people are saying it kind of hints at is the hint is for a Banjo and Kazooie, because people believe there's a book behind Sakurai that kind of has the color schemes, and it could be the Banjo and Kazooie color schemes are the characters in that book, but it's really, it's not a clear picture, so I believe that one might be just too much of a stretch, because it's a book. It's already kind of this entire thing's already pushing it, but the book pushes it a little bit too further. And the skull is what some people have said, like, there is a collectible in the games where you can get that looks like a skull, but that's, I mean, I look at it and like, yeah, that could be a skull. But then again, if it's a skull, that doesn't really mean much. Another character that could be, the people are theorizing, could be hinted at by the background would be Shantae, because the pillow, although has a striking similarity, although the whole thing has a striking similarity to Mr. Skull Kid, there's also the fact that the pillow does have a red tint to it, like Shantae's pants. I believe it's just her pants. I don't believe her top is red. I could be wrong. I'm not remembering her design fully. But then again, the chairs. One is purple, the other one is gold. Shantae's bracelets are gold. her hair is purple, so you know that's where people are making the connection that, hey, maybe it could be Shantae. I personally think that right now, Shantae has a much bigger chance of being a playable character than before, mostly because it's clear that indies are no longer just that one thing that, like, oh, if they get something, they might get a trophy. Because Shovel Knight is an assist trophy. With Shovel Knight being an assist trophy, we now have more to it, more going for a playable character, and I believe that if this entire thing of newcomers is mostly based on the ballot, with maybe a few inclusions here and there that are more from historic video game franchises in the game, like maybe a character from Monster Hunter. Although a character from Monster Hunter might have been a huge pick from Japan, Shantae could have taken the spot over Shovel Knight, even if Shovel Knight won the popularity vote. Mostly because, let's be completely honest, when the ballot was 2015, Shantae would have had, it was a character that had been around for a longer period of time. She had proven herself to last the test of time while Shovel Knight didn't. And maybe, just speculating here, if it was one or the other, and the difference wasn't that big, because let's be completely honest, as much as people like to say, oh yeah, Shovel Knight was more popular, let's assume if millions of people voted for the Smash ballot, then those two would probably get a very small fraction of the votes. So if it was like a difference of Shovel Knight has 500,000 votes, but Shantae has 300,000 or 350, the difference, you might say, oh, but that's still a big difference of 200,000 or 150,000. Yeah, that's a big difference, but let's say 4 million voted, or even more, and people get, obviously, to be honest, if 4 million voted and almost everybody voted more than one time, that we could have had upwards of, like, assuming again 4 million people voted, everybody voted one time, which a lot of people didn't just vote twice. They voted at the very, like, 3 to 4. I voted 5 times, for example. 4, was it 4? No, 5. I voted 5 times, I think, and one of them was for Shantae, the other one was for the Inkling, one was for Wonder Red. I believe I voted for Elma. Did I vote for Shovel Knight? No, I voted for Bayonetta. Yeah, I don't remember who else I voted for. I do believe I voted 4 to 5 times. I think I did. It's been 3 years. My memory should not be that... Well, then again, it was 3 years and a lot of stuff happened since then, so yeah. But again, assuming people voted twice, that would be saying, again, even 1 million people sounds a little bit low to vote. Let's go with... It was a 6-month ballot, so maybe like in 6 months, like 4 million people voted. Let's go with that. If 4 million people voted, 2 votes apiece, that gives you 8 million votes in this scenario. And also the scenario I'm putting up the 500,000 to 300,000. That difference is marginal. It's very tiny. It's a very tiny percentual difference that would in the end not make a lot of difference in the long run. So that's why Sakurai might have looked at it like, the difference not that big. One character is proven to be a character that has surpassed the test of time, while the other one is still fresh, is still new. We don't know if the popularity is going to keep up. So, you know, maybe the tease could be for Shantae. I believe the hint is in fact for Shovel Knight. One more thing I wanted to point out in the hints. There has been, outside of the E3 hint for King K. Rool, and I'm going to pat myself on the back for this one, because not a lot of people, and I've been seeing a lot of reactions for this, not a lot of people, once they saw Claptrap, thought about King K. Rool being announced for the game. The moment I saw him, like, King K. Rool is in the game, and I saw a bunch of people saying like, oh, Claptrap, King K. Rool is in the game, or is King K. Rool being announced? And a lot of people did not see it. A lot of people saw the Claptrap, were happy to see the Claptrap, and didn't think of King K. Rool, so again, pat myself on the back. I believe I did a good job. Now, the more interesting one is the teases. So first things first, in the teases for Super Smash Bros. 4, again taking from it, Pac-Man was teased in the clouds behind Greninja in his reveal trailer. Mr. Game & Watch was also a part of the ending of Pac-Man's trailer, which you could say was more of a reveal than an announcement, but him alongside Dark Pit, who also appeared in the same day in the Palutena trailer. Both of them were at the end, but neither was confirmed until like the ESRB leak 2 months later. And most people, when they saw Dark Pit, were like, is he a costume? Is he a character? It was difficult to tell, more specifically because he didn't get a splash screen. They both just showed up. And I believe, I could be wrong, or might be misremembering, but Bowser Jr. was, I believe, teased in the Mega Man trailer. Behind, it was one of the shots, I believe it was a shot of Mario, that we have a rock behind Mario that kinda sorta looks like Bowser Jr. And this one of the rock and the Pac-Man are the ones that people say, well, oh, but that's, you see what you want to see. And while I will say that about the Bowser Jr. one, I won't admit that, I won't accept that for the Pac-Man one, because the Pac-Man one was in the clouds right behind Greninja, and the Pac-Man one is such an easy one to distinguish, for sure. It's such an easy one for people to think of, but like, you see that, and if I can find it, even if I can't find it, I will just go to the reveal trailer for Greninja. You can see the shape very well. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to be like, oh yeah, let's extra analyze it. No, there's the cloud shapes there. Most people obviously missed it at the first viewing, but once you see it, you immediately like, yeah, that's Pac-Man. That's Pac-Man shape. So it's not really like you see what you want. Pac-Man shape is very distinguishable. It's literally a pizza with one slice missing. That's what it is, and you can immediately tell when it is Pac-Man. So those were the teases for Smash Bros. 4, and I'm probably missing some. I'm remembering right now the tease for Palutena, when we saw Pseudo Palutena in the Direct for the April Nintendo Direct, which was teasing that. So right now the biggest tease seems, there's actually 3 teases that I have written down. I'm gonna go with the actually technically speaking 4, but 3. I'm gonna go with the bigger one for last, because it has more components to it than just one. So the first one is, or the first one of the smaller ones will be Dixie, that has kinda sorta been teased to be in the game. The story for Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie's Double Trouble, I believe that's the name of the game, I could be wrong, Donkey Kong Country 3, is that Donkey and Diddy go on they go somewhere, I forget what it is, and they go missing, and Dixie goes to look for them, and what she finds alongside the baby Kong, I forget his name, I don't think I know people don't like him very much, so it doesn't really matter, but that's beside the point, is that King K. Rool captured both Diddy and Donkey. And what do we get at the end the reveal trailer for Mr. K. Rool? Both Donkey Kong and Diddy are trapped with nowhere to run. They're trapped in the sand. So it's a very identical thing. We did get basically the same thing. We are with Dark Samus was we got a reveal trailer for Ridley in one Direct. The next Direct we got Dark Samus announced, so maybe this will be the same thing that happens here. We have King K. Rool announced in August, and the next Direct, Dixie is one of the characters to be revealed as an echo for Diddy, especially now that we know that echoes don't need to have every single thing be basically the same, with Chrom having a different idle animation, I believe a different animation in general, and a different up B, and with Dark Samus completely having a different animation style, and even having her dodges being different and being more floatier, so her properties right then and there are different. So then we have Isabelle and Shadow. I don't believe they've been technically speaking teased. In a way they have been teased and the other haven't, is that both of them are still missing in action. We haven't seen them in the game as of yet as assist trophies, because they were. So I believe that the teases have been the fact that Dark Samus was like them, an assist trophy that was missing, got the upgrade from assist trophy to an Echo Fighter, which these two would be, especially Shadow now and Shadow now has much more of a chance again with everything that we know now about Echoes not having everything be the same. So yeah, and both of them, the biggest tease for them was what happened now that we knew that Shadow, or we think that Shadow might have been replaced as the Sonic Assist Trophy because of Knuckles. Knuckles was announced at E3. But here's the thing. Knuckles was announced at E3, and during this Nintendo Direct, we got announced Captain. Actually, Knuckles wasn't announced at E3. Knuckles was a part of the E3 build and the demo, but he's yet to but he was not officially announced. So he was announced in the Smash website like a couple of weeks before the Direct, or a couple of days, or was it a week? The week before. It was either the week before or 2 weeks before the Direct. That's where he basically was officially confirmed to be in the game. And we now had another Direct, and in the first Nintendo Direct for E3, we got the announcement of Waluigi. And now in this one we got the confirmation of not only Zero, which was also technically speaking missing, but also what's his name? Ashley. For Ashley, two highly requested characters. Isabelle and Shadow have yet to be announced, and we have already seen new assist trophies for both of those franchises. Ashley was the first WarioWare assist trophy we have seen yet, and Knuckles is the first and only one that we have seen for the Sonic franchise. So that's basically that. And then we reach to the big one, which is Isaac. Like I mentioned in my Missing in Action Part 2, Isaac is being teased with the Rathalos assist trophy picture that will be on screen right now. But there's also another thing, that is, this is a very minute one. This is a very one that I've seen some people say it's kind of a stretch, and I will agree it's kind of a stretch to associate it. But heck, this is Sakurai. He plans these things perfectly. I would not be shocked if these two came to fruition. Even if these things are not teasers, I still want to mention them. Is that in the ending of the Simon Belmont trailer, we end with a shot of the Castlevania castle, of Dracula's castle, I should say, in front of a gigantic moon. Obviously, because it's the moon, it's the iconic Castlevania shot of Dracula's castle in front of the moon. It's beautiful. And the ending of the King K. Rool trailer is Donkey Kong and Diddy punching, or in the Diddy's case, kicking King K. Rool in front of the sun. Well, some people said that's a reference to Dragon Ball. I think that's a dumb statement to make, or either dumb or very uncultured, because let's be honest, there's a multitude of animes and multitude of movies that have done the whole thing of a silhouette in the sun thing before. It's not Dragon Ball. Just because Dragon Ball did it recently or whatever doesn't mean it's Dragon Ball. Jesus Christ, people. I know you guys are crazy for a not deserving character to be in Smash Brothers in the case of Goku, and a character that cannot even be in Smash. But god damn it, people, just let the meme die already. Yikes. But again, going back to the topic of the video, people, that's the final shot of the final CGI shot for both trailers, the moon and the sun. Now, there's a lot of ways we can look at this. We can look at it as just coincidence, which would be fun if it was just a coincidence, but with Smash Brothers and Sakurai and Nintendo, there's never too many coincidences out there. I remember when A Link Between Worlds came out, and in Ravio's store there is the Majora's Mask, and people were like, oh, that's a fun tease, or that's just a reference to Majora's Mask, it has nothing to do with Majora's Mask 3D, and what was it? That game came out in 2013, right? Or was it 2014? No, 2013. I believe it was 2013. If it was 2013, a year later we get the announcement for Majora's Mask 3D. If it was 2014, which I don't think it was, then 2 months later we got, or a couple months later, we got the announcement. No, it was a year later. It was 2013. We got the announcement for Majora's Mask 3D. The same thing can be said for something else. I'm forgetting what it was. I had it in my mind while I was speaking about A Link Between Worlds, and then I completely forgot. But whatever. So people have taken this to be the sun and the moon and the sun. If it is a coincidence, by God, that's incredible. Because it could mean two things. It could mean Pokemon from Sun and Moon, which makes sense. However, it's the moon came first and then the sun. It wasn't Sun and then Moon, which is what Pokemon is advertised. It's not Moon. The Moon is not the first version of the game. Sun, technically speaking, is. In every piece of advertisement that has come out for Pokemon Generation 7 is Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. So it wouldn't make much sense for them to do it reverted with first it's the moon, then it's the sun. Heck, Solgaleo was the first legendary of the two to be confirmed, and even in the Nintendo Direct, they show Solgaleo first and then Lunala. So sun and then moon. So I don't believe it could be that, but what people have speculated, and again, it could be, I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't, I'm leaning towards it isn't, but the characters will still be in, is that the moon represents Skull Kid, and the sun represents Isaac from, well, Golden Sun. It makes sense in this mentality. Literally, the name of the franchise is Golden Sun, so it makes sense for Golden Sun Isaac to be associated with the sun, and then Skull Kid is mostly remembered from Majora's Mask. He was in Ocarina of Time, and I believe one of his race, not him, but one of his race, why I don't think they have an official name. They might have, but I don't know if they have an official species name. Was in Twilight Princess, if I'm not mistaken. But obviously, when people think of Skull Kid, they think of the little boy with the Majora's Mask on. Which, to be fair, we all remember Skull Kid, but nobody talks about the fact that it's not Skull Kid, it's Skull Kid possessed by Majora's Mask. So it's funny. But anyway, we have the moon, which is, again, Skull Kid mostly associated with because of Majora's Mask, where the moon's gonna crash into Termina. We have, funnily enough, Termina coming back as a stage. We have a new sound, a new song for Termina, and we have this little thing about the sun and the moon, which is funny and I believe appropriate. Another thing that's kind of being teased is obviously the Monster Hunter stage and the Monster Hunter character, with the character being obviously because of Rathalos at the stage. Again, it doesn't make much sense to have this a stage, to have a character, to have music from the game, or to have an assist trophy and the boss character, technically speaking the same, but whatever, a location in a story mode or a boss rush mode, and a music from the game, but not have a character or a stage. It just feels weird. Anyway, this video was going to include rumors as well, or leaks, but I believe I'm gonna have to leave that out because I just looked at my timer and I've been recording for 27 minutes, and I believe that's long enough for a video. I don't think I need to add in rumors and leaks. I think rumors and leaks will be done next week. Thank God I recorded this before I recorded the Smash Ballad, and actually I was gonna record this alone and then go gather information and gather leaks and like see what other YouTubers, whether leaks have been reported by some YouTubers that I have seen. Some of them are really dumb, really like, oh, you're stretching, and some of them are just blind luck that people are covering and giving credence for some reason. But then again, that's how the Smash community works. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. So no leaks. Leaks will stay in for next week, funnily enough. And also next week there's gonna be the revisiting of Echoes, or like looking at characters that I might have missed, some ideas that have occurred since then, and discussing some characters that I've seen floating around the internet, even from your comments. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Tell me in the comment section, what do you think of every character teased or hinted at throughout the Smash series, especially 4 and now Ultimate? What characters were teased during the Brawl era? Because I wasn't around back then, and to talk to people about that time period, a lot of people will not remember Teases because there wasn't this whole, there was speculation, but never to the level that it is now, because the internet, while big at the time, it wasn't like it is now or like it was during the Smash 4 days. Tell me which characters, also tell me which hints and teases that I might have missed, both from the direct and from the website, and those will probably be mentioned in the rumors video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've been the Legend of DS, and I'll see you guys next time.